conference flavor. And speaking of streaks, Montreal's stoppage of Carolina not equaled by Cleveland as New York's won 9 straight, the longest postseason winning streak in franchise history. They're the 13th team in NBA history to get on a 9-game run in a single postseason. Of the previous 12, all but one reached the NBA Finals, which makes sense because you win that many in a row. You're talking about spreading it out over a number of series, right? In NBA playoff history, teams who take a 2-0 lead in the best of 7 have won over 92% of the time. Most recently, it was 2020. The Knicks are the 11th team to take a 2-0 lead in the conference finals, and the previous 10 won them all. Series shifts to Cleveland, Game 3, Saturday night. Cavs look to avoid a 3-0 series deficit. No teams overcome in playoff history. Cavs, though, have been good at home this postseason. Joined now by Tim Legler, who is courtside in the Garden, where the Knicks roll to a 2-0 series lead. And Tim, the connectivity of the Knicks defense felt like a big part of this night. Cleveland started hot from 3, then couldn't buy one. Am I onto something? Is the Knicks defense the reason why they won this game tonight?
Knicks defense has turned into an elite defense here in the postseason, and they adjusted some things during the course of the year. You know, their efficiency of their offense, Scott, has helped that defense because when you're taking the ball out of the net a lot, that's what you're going to get. Defensively, you can set up, you can see the ball in front of you, and you can execute the game plan, and you get the appropriate matchups that you want. Their offense has helped to a great degree. There's no doubt that the Cleveland Cavaliers' three-point shooting failed them in this game because that's the shot you're going to have to make if the Knicks are going to be this connected off the dribble in the way they're going to protect the lane. You're going to have to knock down your share of three-point shots, and tonight just wasn't Cleveland's night. And on the other end, Josh Hart had an answer for that with 5 of his own because Cleveland decided to leave him most of the night, and he made him pay.
Brunson was ordinary to below average in terms of his scoring. I think he had 17 against Atlanta, but that was the game they won by like 50 points. But he had a career high in the playoffs in assists. If you tell Cleveland and Coach Atkinson, hey, he's going to get 19, they're going to feel good about their chances. How did Brunson facilitate and put others in a position to hurt Cleveland?
He recognized immediately the shift, and the shift was this. They were going to rotate multiple bodies to his side of the floor. They let him play obviously one-on-one in that fourth quarter of game 1 late. And I think now the adjustment, and he was waiting for it. He was prepared for it. He wasn't as aggressive looking for his offense. He wanted to accept 2 because that's the responsibility of a great player and then move it out of there. Tonight was his job as a playmaker. He picked them apart. He ran the team. They had 7 turnovers as a group. A lot of that falls on the shoulders of Jalen Brunson, getting them properly spaced, reading where the traffic was coming from, and then delivering the ball where it was supposed to go to make the game very easy in 4-on-3s and 3-on-2s out of those traps.
I'm a big fan of Donovan Mitchell across the board. Everything about his constitution. At the end of this game, Tim, he's applauding to his bench. He's giving his guys a look like, we're all right, we're all right. They have to know, and their heart of hearts, Tim, we have to win a game in the Garden to win this series, and we had a 22-point lead in game 1 and we lost it. I'm not saying they can't win this series, but when you go back home knowing what you let get away in game 1, in your heart of hearts, do you have to feel like, I don't know how we win this series if you're the Cavs?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of been my mentality since they let that slip away. Scott, you said it. It's a math problem, right? You got to get to 4. And for the Cavs, they had a different problem coming in. They had to win a road game. The Knicks don't. And the Cavs had a road win right there in front of them. We're not able to close the deal. So I was really curious to see how they came out tonight. I expected the Knicks to be much better offensively early in the game because it took them a while to find their rhythm after that layoff. And they were better offensively in the first half. But there, you look up, and the Cavs are right there. So I think they took the first punch. Emotionally, they were in the right place. But once the run came, that's when you kind of felt a little bit that loss of game 1 carried over in that moment. Were they going to be able to answer that run or stop the bleeding if the Knicks were able to get separation in the second half and the Cavs weren't? And they still haven't solved the Jalen Brunson riddle because he went ISO mostly in the fourth quarter overtime of game 1, got a win. Tonight, a lot of traffic. He picks them apart. They haven't figured out that end of the floor. That's the biggest challenge for the Cavs, as well as you have to get better shooting out of your role players around the star guards. And Sam Merrill, And Max Strus, guys like that, you know how much I appreciate what they do.
Of course.
The way I made my living. And I expect them to be better at home because those guys are too elite, particularly Merrill, who had great looks in the first half and could have made a big difference. I know he's beating himself up a little bit. Those guys will be better in Cleveland. I expect the offense to be better. How do they solve this Jalen Brunson problem? That's still an issue for the Cavs.
Cleveland has been fantastic at home. They are going to have to be. New York now just 2 games away from making it to the NBA Finals. Tim Legler, appreciate the time. We'll talk Saturday, all right? Series lead in the Eastern Conference Finals. Jalen Brunson, who went absolutely berserk in that fourth-quarter comeback, was pedestrian in terms of his scoring, at least early, but facilitated. 5 assists in the first half, only 2 points scoring. But again, a lot of ways that he can impact this Knicks squad, especially on a night when his podcast partner is going to hit everything he looks at. But now in the second half, Brunson, I don't want the screen. I'm going to get to my right, then pull from deep. That puts New York up 3. 14 assists on this night, and Brunson, Cat gave the outlet, Brunson with the dish to Hart. Then it's Brunson drawing the attention of everyone on Cleveland, and wide open is Hart. So it's the combination of Hart's career scoring night and Brunson's career assist night in the playoffs. There's the same recipe right there. Brunson scored or assisted on 15 of the 18 points in the Knicks' 18-0 run. Now in control, up 15 on the break. Brunson, Donovan Mitchell not going to challenge that. There's no reason. Up 17, and then it's Brunson one more time to Mikal Bridges. 19 points, 14 assists. That's the most in a playoff game by a Knick since Charlie Ward in '98. Here's some thoughts after the Game 2 win.
I think it's an advantage for us, learning how to play differently. There are going to be times where one game plan is going to be different than the next. And so being able to adjust and learn on the fly and adjust on the fly it's something that we need to continue to get better at. But I think we've been doing a great job of it. We just got to continue to be open to figure out how we can win the next game.
As an MVP candidate, Jalen Brunson's job is to make the game easier for his teammates, and that's what he did. If you don't send a second guy at him, he's got a pretty good chance of scoring it. If you send the second guy at him, he's going to make the game easier for his teammates. He's going to find them. They just have to step up and make shots. So it starts with Jalen as an MVP candidate, but also it ends with his teammates making shots.
Game 3 Saturday night in Cleveland. Last week,